Good afternoon. Superintendent Nick Commencement, Principal Bill DeWitt, esteemed faculty and staff, Board of Trustees, parents and friends, platform guests, and most importantly, our 2011 graduates. What I want to do today, and I want to preface this before I start to talk, and that is, I want to let you know what I'm going to do, and this pertains to everybody in the building. However, the majority of the talk will be directed at the graduates. 50 plus years ago, I was sitting at my high school graduation like you. And you know what? I can't remember the speaker or the message. So if you don't remember me or my message, that's okay. My hope, though, is that a seed of my message will be implanted into your subconscious to grow. One seed of my message is the word, and make sure you listen to this and implant it into your computer brain, faith. Okay? One seed of my message is the word faith. Webster's dictionary gives us this definition. Faith is confidence or trust in a person or being or thing, belief in God, a system of religious belief. Years ago, I put my faith in God. However, my faith in God has never been as strong as it is now. The reason is God gave me new life February of 2010. That is when I was diagnosed with asbestos-related mesothelioma cancer. I was given 6 months to live. Immediately, I asked God, let me live. God gave me what I asked for because I actually should be dead now. So what I want to do now is refresh our memories of the power of God. This is what I was mentioning before, and I am not trying to insinuate any of us in here of our intelligence, because what I'm going to do today, you all know how to do it. I don't think you do it enough. And so therefore, I just want to refresh our memories that when we leave here today, in fact, you can start it right now, that we do more of it. Faith. When we are born, our faith is unchallenged. We may not be aware of the safety net surrounding us because of the complete dependency on others, but it is there. As we grow, the safety net is lowered so that more responsibility becomes ours. For example, feeding, mobility, and communication. Put that word in your computer brain also. Those will be the only 2 words that I want you to remember today, and that is faith and communication. When you remember those 2 words, when you have your 20th reunion, and you say, who was your speaker, what was the message, you'll know exactly what to say. You'll probably still forget me, though. In my opinion, communication is the most important part. It is the most important part after mobility and feeding are mastered. Communication is so important in any relationship with God, parents, one's spouse, everyone you come in contact with. I want to read something from the Bible, just a short little piece. And this has to do with us asking for things. We just don't ask God enough. In the Bible, one of the disciples, Luke chapter 11, verse 9, says this. So I say to you, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives. He who seeks finds. And to him who knocks, the door will be opened. I'm sure you ask God for things, and that's good. But I still believe people don't ask God enough. God will always give you what you need, but He will not always give you what you want. This lowering of the safety net, which will be referred to as responsibility, continues throughout life. Believe me, as a parent, it is often difficult to relinquish the hold on this. Now, you have reached a point in your lives where you must have the majority of control of this responsibility. Now is when faith becomes important. Faith is trust, love, and acceptance. It is something to be nourished. Its nourishment is your relationship with God, with people, but mostly with God. In order for the relationship to work, there must be communication. There is that word, communication. Don't forget that word. Without it, life is more complicated. Relationships are more complicated. Prayer is my choice of nourishment. It can be however you choose. You choose what you want. The rosary, traditional prayers, just like talking to God, such as requests, praising, thinking, or even questioning. The idea is to keep the line open to God. This makes it easier when troubles occur. Mass is also a source of prayer. Good deeds, clarity, charity, and selfless kindness also nourish faith. Life is not easy or often fair. Faith can be challenged in many ways. What we often ask, why did this happen, God? Or why did it not happen? Faith is not misunderstanding or accepting. When we think our prayers are not answered or that God is not listening, then I want you to remember the poem, Footprints. Now this is the part where probably the majority of us know what footprints is, but I think it is so important that it will substantiate the fact that we need to realize that God will help us if we just ask. The poem goes like this. One night I had a dream. I dreamed I was walking along the beach with the Lord, and across the sky flashed scenes from my life. For each scene I noticed two sets of footprints. One belonged to me and the other to the Lord. When the last scene of my life flashed before me, I looked back at the footprints in the sand. I noticed that many times along the path of my life, there was only one set of footprints. I also noticed that it happened to be at the very lowest and saddest times of my life. This really bothered me, and I questioned the Lord about it. Lord, you said that once I decided to follow you, you would walk with me all the way. But I have noticed that during the most troublesome times in my life, there is only one set of footprints. I don't understand why in times when I needed you most, you would leave me. The Lord replied, my precious, precious child, I love you and I would never leave you. During your times of trial and suffering, when you saw only one set of footprints, it was then that I carried you. You know, I've said this several times now, and that everything is possible with God. So I want to tell you a neat little story that I like. And I don't know if it's true. I can imagine it would be. There is no reason to doubt it because God is all powerful, almighty, and all the other things. But it's a story about a young boy and a little red wagon. It just so happened that this young boy would be pulling his wagon by the rectory, and this would be toward the evening, and on the rectory front steps would be the priest. And so as he was pulling the wagon by, it just so happened that all four wheels fell off of the wagon. And the kid said, I'll be damned.